Good afternoon.
Turn my mic on, so I won't get in trouble with Mike. Good to see everyone. Welcome to the mid-month meeting of the Liberty County Board of Commissioners held on the third Thursday at 5 o'clock. You're welcome to either attend in person or certainly follow us on live stream. Happy to have you to do that. Mr. Mosley, has the meeting been properly advertised?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Will you be so kind, sir, to come lead us in our prayer and our pledge? Please stand for the invocation and the pledge.
Let us pray. Gracious and kind Father, we thank you for all you do. We bless you. We thank you for the rain that you've sent our way. We ask, Father God, that you would be with this body as they deliberate on the business of this community. We pray that you give them the divine wisdom and insight and foresight as they transact this business. And Father God, we pause and pray for our county administrator in his absence. We pray, Father God, that you would touch his body. Now, Father God, we thank you that you would continue to be with us. And these and all other blessings, we ask in Jesus' name. Everyone said amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. We are praying for Mr. Brown. He's under the weather today. We're praying for his recovery. Please keep him in your prayers. This time we'll follow our agenda as printed. Liberty County Development Authority has a new CEO, and she's here to greet us and say hello to us and share information. Please welcome Ms. Bryn Grant.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity to come and introduce myself to you. I have been on the ground now at the Liberty County Development Authority for 3 months, a little over 3 months. And while I grew up here, as I tell people often, while I grew up here, after I graduated from high school at Bradwell Institute and went to college, my career took me other places. And so it has been really wonderful getting to know this community again as a grown person. And everywhere I look, there's a warm memory and meaning to me. So coming back to my hometown to commit myself to service as you guys serve, I'm very eager and excited about working with you as we move forward. Our Development Authority and the Liberty County Board of Commissioners have to work in sync in order to bring about the kind of results that we want. So our organization, as you guys know better than anybody, is about attracting business, growing business, and creating jobs. On the industrial side in particular, not exclusively, but certainly in particular, because those jobs, manufacturing jobs and jobs like that, bring new money to an area. And that is the kind of usually higher paying as well, which is critically important. I came before this body one other time in my career, and that was as the president and CEO of the United Way of the Coastal Empire. There I served for 4 years. And that work, after 20 years in economic development and then being in the social services side of our community service work, was very enlightening and inspiring. And it makes me approach economic development maybe a little differently than I would have prior to those 4 years and that experience of seeing the struggles in our communities, because we were a 4-county organization that included Liberty County and includes Liberty County still, made me approach economic development a different way. We are not just about creating jobs and attracting investment for the sake of creating jobs and attracting investment. We do that to increase the standard of living for the people who live and work here, and that is our focus. One of the most important things that I was involved with at United Way was something called United for ALICE. That stands for Asset Limited, Income Constrained, Employed. It means people who are working hard, sometimes more than one job, but don't make enough to make a basic, and if you look at the data, you would see it's probably so conservative as to be ridiculous, a basic household budget work. That information is now, we were the 29th state, the state of Georgia, to become a part of United for Alice report. I would encourage this body to invite Kristen Graham, who is with the United Way of the Coastal Empire, to present that data to this board so that you can deeply understand what that looks like, what that population looks like in Liberty County. We are at 45% Alice. That means 45% of our population cannot make a basic, very basic household budget work. Now, that's better than a lot of our neighbors. And the state of Georgia's average is 48%. So we're better than the state average in that case. But it's still not good enough because as a state, we are one of the last on the list with the highest percentage of Alice population, only ahead of Mississippi and Louisiana. So we have a lot of work to do. I think economic development has a role to play in that. Certainly an economy is an enormous system and there are many, many variables, but the economic development work that we do in this community is part of that, and I'm eager and excited to partner with all of you to move that forward. 2 points of information that I'll share. One is that we are moving forward with a strategic planning initiative. It will involve a third-party group of advisors, Boyette Strategic Advisors, which have unique experience in the space in which we're operating. So we're excited about working with them. That process is already kicking off. It will include a competitive analysis of our community, so we understand how we stack up compared to the region, compared to the state, compared to the nation and the other communities in which we compete with for business. It will include target industry analysis, so we can think about what kind of industries should we proactively pursue. And it will include an incentives guidelines policy so that we are all on the same page about guidelines for how we want to work to attract businesses going forward. So I've been a part of those processes before when I was at the Savannah Economic Development Authority, and I'm really excited about doing that here in Liberty County. We will want to hear from every one of you. So I'm working with the County Administrator's Office to get on your calendars so that we can hear your thoughts and get your feedback for that. The other part of that that I want to mention today is while I have not worked in Liberty County since I was at Coastal Utilities as a 411 operator in high school. Is there even 411 anymore? I'm not sure. While I have not worked here since then, I have advocated for my home in all of the places in which I've served. And I was disappointed, frankly, years and years ago when the I-16 Savannah Harbor Joint Development Authority was formed, that it didn't include my home county of Liberty County, and I had advocated for that to be the case. I think now, all of these years later, in looking at all that has transpired and the location of Hyundai, the largest project in the history of our state, and all of the ripple effects of that we are experiencing even, that we are in a really good place. And exploring opportunity to create a joint development authority with other neighboring counties is in our future, and a conversation that you may even have already been involved with, but it's something I'm very excited about, how we might partner with McIntosh and Long with a joint development authority, because those regional authorities attract greater investment, not just from businesses, but also from all of the many ways that you can attract grant dollars into a community. And we certainly want to be a part of that and play, so to speak, in that space in a more proactive way. So thank you for all that you do, and I'm excited about moving forward with you as a partner, and I would take any questions that you might have at this stage.
I was just going to say, welcome aboard and welcome back to your hometown of Liberty County. It's good to have you back.
Thank you so much.
I can't wait to see what this company is going to do for us and the surveys and all that we'll be conducting.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that to us.
In addition to probably interviewing each one of you, either in groups or one-on-one or whatever, we'll also be doing a community-wide survey. You said the word survey, and so that we can get feedback from all kinds of, everybody who's interested in giving feedback. We want to hear it. So thank you so much.
Randy, if you will, I'm sorry.
I would just like to meet you.
Thank you.
Maria's gonna be reaching out to set up times to meet with Brenda, so be looking for that so you can share with her. But while you're here, share a little bit about Liberty County being on the radar, if I'm being, the interest that we're getting from.
Our phone is ringing, for sure. And if I may say, I don't feel like we have to, I know that there were years where, not just in Liberty County, but in the region and even in Savannah where I was, there were some very lean years as far as business attraction. And the recession of 08, 09, 10 really slowed down the number of projects that were calling. And that is heightened again. I mean, you know, the activity level and the calls have increased. But I will share that they will have to meet a standard. And that there might be, and there have been already in just the 3 months that I've been there have been one or two, we've just said no. Thanks so much for calling us and thinking of us, but that is not a fit for our community. And we don't want to waste your time, and we don't want to put our limited energy and time into trying to convince you of something that's not a fit to begin with. So I do believe that with the biggest economic development project in the history of our state, you are watching the development move down I-95 as well as down I-16. And the phone calls from developers looking for opportunities is increasing, and the number of projects we're seeing is meaningful. I hope to increase that. I hope to increase that because I believe that with a higher number of leads or opportunities, we can be more selective. And I don't want to be dismissive of the fact that it is a complicated and highly competitive process. I don't want to dismiss that fact. And so I don't want to sound like we're not hungry, because we are. But we're hungry for the right things. And I think that matches what I understand your values to be as well.
Mr. Grant, down at Tradeport East, how much land do we have left to build out on? Or will we have to come back, move up to 17 to Tradeport West?
Tradeport West will definitely be an important piece of property for increased development. Yes, Tradeport East, while I hesitate to quote you an exact number of the acreage that's left there, it isn't much. And it's certainly not large tracts. It's smaller tracts. So while we can still put some projects on that property, Tradeport West is going to be, we're going to be focused on improving the infrastructure there so that we can begin to locate projects there. That will be vital.
I was going to ask you to mention the infrastructure challenges, but.
Well,
they know the song. You just sing the chorus. They know the song.
I am getting an education and in water and sewer infrastructure, if that's what you're referring to in particular.
Yes,
the roads are important too. And I had not worked. You know, the Savannah Economic Development Authority didn't own water and sewer infrastructure. We weren't operators of water and sewer. So thankfully, Carmen Cole, who's been with our organization for 28 years, is been involved with that from day one, and I'm learning a lot from her. And we are working with all of the entities within the Liberty County and our neighbors to really think through a comprehensive solution for water and sewer that would allow us to not just meet the demands today, but plan for meeting the demands of the future in an effective and efficient way. I don't claim to know what those answers are yet. We have a lot of people who've been involved, including the county's own engineer, Trent Long. But we are working together to come up with those answers, and it's moving forward now in ways I hope that will, I hesitate to even give you a timeline, because it is a complicated thing, but I'm eager and excited to see that it's moving, and that folks are positively engaging on trying to find the solutions.
We don't expect.
But it's a challenge.
Yes. We expect the timeline for somebody who's been there 3 months.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I will say, to piggyback on the Commissioner Stevens' question, that even with the Tradeport West expansion, there's going to be a build out, and water and sewer remains a challenge for all of us in the county. So we got to figure that out.
We do have to figure it out, and I believe we're on the path to that again. Not that hasn't been an effort that's been undertaken, but we maybe have renewed energy and are engaging with someone who has expertise to help advise us too, about how we might partner to deliver.
And I know we're not even considering large water users for.
Certainly, that's one of the first questions we ask when a project calls, is, what are your water capacity needs? And I believe that I wouldn't be surprised if in our strategic planning and we identify target industries, low water users will probably be a target. But we have to understand that that's going to be a target for all of coastal Georgia, not just Liberty County. We are all struggling with that water capacity issue, and so we have to, go in eyes wide open.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you much. We'll hear more, I'm sure.
Yes, you will. I hope frequently. Thank you so much for the
Thank
opportunity.
you for coming. Thank you for coming. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Finance.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. I am here this evening to give my report on the county's May 2024 financial statements. As of the end of May, we have collected approximately 96% of our general fund budgeted revenues and spent approximately 92% of our total budgeted expenditures. Currently, through May, we have revenues over expenditures of $2.3 million. We have currently also 5.1 months of operating expenses in our fund balance. It's slightly down from this time last year, which reported 6.8 months. But it's still a pretty solid number, I would say. Moving on to the expenditures, we do have some departments that are still showing a negative variance for the month of May. And then once we have completed our June report and the close of the fiscal year, we will see how everything falls and come back to you with a final budget amendment as needed to get us ready for our year-end audit. But I'll highlight just a few of these department variances. As I've mentioned most of these before, elections. The actual cost for running those city elections exceeded what the original projections were. This is causing it to show an unfavorable variance through the end of May.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
when you talk about election, at one of the last meetings before I asked the question, some of these municipalities or cities that still owe the county for their election.
That is correct. There are.
So if that amount was collected today, would that still leave them in the red?
28 plus. It would, we're owed about $145,000 from 2 cities, so it would almost wipe out the deficit. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, and Mr. Matthew, Mr. Brown, Mr. Mosley, do we have a procedure in place for collecting, and how long do we let this stay, I'm gonna call it, on the books? I know there are cities within the county, but still, we're taking this money from here to pay that, but they have an obligation to repay the county. Do we let it go on for 6 months, 9 months, or what?
I don't know if we have a collections policy.
I mean, I know that for many of our non-municipality clients, customers, we do charge late charges and interest on those balances. We haven't yet started charging them to the other cities. But we certainly send out notices and make phone calls and that kind of thing. And as far as the finance procedures, it's definitely actively tracked, but there's currently no real penalty, so to speak.
Have you been in, I know you've been in conversation with both cities.
Yes, sir,
But have
absolutely.
you been in recent conversation? Has it been in,
Yes,
okay.
we have. And I think we have another meeting next week.
Got another meeting next week.
What was the reply?
We're
You're gonna meet next week, you said.
gonna meet next week, yes, sir. They're not agreeing with our calculation of how we allocated those expenses for elections.
So how long will this continue? Will we have to go into a mediation or what to collect the money?
That I'm not sure.
We hope not. We hope we're gonna work that out.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
I mean, because
We've never have done that before. I don't recall it, yeah.
That's what I was gonna say,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair.
No.
And I
No.
understand what Commissioner Stevens is
No.
saying. I mean, you know, I guess this is unprecedented waters.
That's
that we've
right.
Had to go this route. So
Yeah.
maybe in the future, I don't know if whenever we do our MOUs with him, that we might have to
Put
start
some-
put some.
Be more
Some,
specific with,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, hey,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I think this is the first time we haven't, the municipality ever said, well, I don't know what they said. I just know we haven't received a check. So
yeah,
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna speak for them, they saying no, but they're saying something.
yeah,
So hopefully the meeting will go.
yeah. So you meet with both of them? You meet with both cities?
I think next week is just the city of Hinesville.
Okay.
But there are talks of bringing in all of the surrounding cities to kind of talk about through that next intergovernmental agreement and
okay.
how the terms should be laid out and,
Okay.
because it's pretty vague
Okay.
currently. And they're just not interpreting it the same way as we did and the elections board did.
Yeah.
Which is where the allocations came from.
Yeah,
To guide me to prepare those bills.
okay.
Since since I've opened that can of worms, just, Mr. Chairman, if you let me finish. Go back to the
Yep.
solid waste side.
Yes, sir.
We have one municipality that owes us out there. And what's the process on that? I mean, Mr. Chair, Mr. Mosley, do we continue to let them drag us out while we get whipped up here about taxes?
Stevens, I believe Mr. Brown has approached the administration over there about trying to correct that issue.
Can this board have an answer by the next meeting? So that we will know, because we're the one up here taking the whipping.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
So,
that,
I mean, you know, I know they got to carry their trash someplace.
Are they continuing to,
That's the question I was
are
gonna
they
ask.
continuing to roll? Because
They are.
weren't they out for like a bid for private?
I don't,
No?
They're,
I don't think so.
they're discussing
I understood
that.
They're
they were-
discussing.
Yes, ma'am, I understood they were seeking some
Yeah.
possible ways to
Yeah,
help collect their
Yeah.
solid waste.
yeah.
And we're still allowing them to use our
To
our
charge.
transfer?
Yeah. Now, they made some, have I got it right? They made some payment.
They do make
Yeah.
payments, it's just
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
timely and it's
Yeah.
not the full
Yeah, so
balance.
it's
But
not
they
that they're not paying at
do
all. They
make
pay, yeah.
periodic
And,
payments,
and
yes,
they've
sir.
asked us to be patient with them.
But then being patient, but the citizens out there,
Yeah.
they
well,
don't understand what we're, you know,
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah. But, working toward a resolution.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. For risk management, it's currently showing over budget. This is department where we record our annual pension contribution each January. It skews this variance for the rest of the year. Additionally, our property insurance was renewed on May 1st, which also shows, or is a reason for the increase in the current month. But as we get through June, this should smooth out, and I don't anticipate any overage for the year. The Judicial Administration, this is the department that accounts for our court reporters. And looking through May's detail, it does look like that we may exceed our budget for the year on this. We will take a closer look at this when we do close out June, but we may have just.
Who sends that voucher to? Is that clerk of courts?
It's actually the court reporters themselves. I believe for juvenile, though, they do send us theirs over, but some of the court reporters just bill us directly.
Yeah, but
It's various courts. It's,
various courts.
yep,
I was
Superior
wondering-
Court, Juvenile
I was
Court.
kind of thinking who'd be the point of contact, but it's various courts, so
Yeah,
it's not
it
just.
differs, yes, yes, sir.
So I guess the question is, did they under budget?
I think that's
Or-
one that we finance puts together, so just
okay.
kind of a, what do we think is gonna happen this
Okay,
year? And
okay. You
never
don't-
really know what's on the court dockets.
You don't have a crystal ball to.
Correct, yes,
Okay,
sir.
Okay, okay. All right.
Also, the district attorney's office is running a little ahead of schedule, but this should level out through the end of the year. Animal services may go over for the fiscal year. As we've talked about in the past, they had increases for electricity and animal food supplies that were over what was budgeted. The maintenance shop is running ahead of schedule compared to the estimate that we came up with. However, in speaking with the county administrator, they are still under their target rate, which they quote us each year. So we conservatively budgeted an amount, but unfortunately, it's a little more than that.
Okay.
But it's still less than what they quoted us for the year. Recreation is, I think this is the first time all year they've shown up with a negative variance, but it's due to their temporary or part-time employees. This is another department we'll look at when we do the June closeout. Yes, sir.
Can you provide us with the recreation on the fees
Yeah, other revenue? Yes, sir.
collected at the complex, various places?
Yes.
The Riceboro Gym,
Yes.
can you provide that for us?
Yes, I can absolutely provide that.
And see if you can find, I guess they should have a good record down there. How many times the complex been rented out?
Oh,
How
okay.
many times the gym been rented out, and what's the amount has it brought in?
So we're just talking those rentals to civilians and whoever wants to rent it out? Or are we talking like the fees they collect from their activities and pools and just the pavilion rentals and the gym and that kind of thing? Yes, sir, absolutely, yes, yeah. I will get that. Rentals.
Mr. Chair, are we going to continue to hold out with the employees with the recreation until we look at our budget, I guess, again? I guess that was the 90 days. So what, we're at 60 now? Still haven't received any more funding coming in?
No, sir.
I don't even
Just
know why
some-
we kicked it down the road.
Some more interest income, but it's not
It's
enough.
not coming. It's nothing, it's not a crystal ball that's gonna bring us, so we should have just did the budget then. But that's just me. But, yeah, because it's not just that department that we're holding up. We're holding up a lot of other departments and their requests, and I don't understand why. And another question with that, so are we going to, our new budget for next year, is it just for 9 months?
It's my understanding
is
that we
that
had
how
the
we're
3
going?
months, and then you guys were gonna approve the additional
9 month.
9 months.
Yeah.
And
9
what
month
that
Budget.
totaled at the end would be your new fiscal year annual budget, 25.
We should be getting closer to having some digest information.
I'm waiting on it any day, yes.
That's the crystal ball.
That is the crystal ball. Hopefully it's a positive light.
Also, have you gotten a good price on the audit for the red speed funds? Have you gotten a good price on that yet? What it's costing us, the county, the taxpayers?
We haven't received the invoice, but I did speak to the partner at that firm yesterday, actually, or the day before. And they're estimating it to cost about $5,000. But she is wrapping up the procedures with that, and I believe next will be a Q&A with the sheriff's department and kind of get some feedback from their office before she finalizes her report.
About $5,000.
About $5,000, yes, sir.
Staying on budget, or what you quoted last time.
Which is,
Sorry,
so,
ma'am?
right. Well, I guess they just doing it, because I know most auditors, and I thought they charged by the hour, but obviously
They, actually, the engagement letter does quote that we will be charged by the hour, but they gave a range, and it's not to exceed 5,000. So I was just overly being conservative for that amount.
because that request went
We
in
like that number.
at least a month ago, right?
Somewhere in that,
May? Okay.
May.
At 5,000 now, ran out, yeah. That must be a discount.
We'll take it.
There's nothing to find.
All right.
Okay, turning the page to solid waste. At the end of May, the solid waste department is showing net income for the year of $469,000, collecting approximately 95% of the budgeted revenues, and we have spent approximately 86% of our budgeted expenditures. There are currently no departments in the solid waste fund that are independently exceeding budget. Additionally, there is one special revenue fund on the next page that is showing a variance for the month of May, and this is the victim witness for the DA's office. But this is, we determined is purely just a timing issue, and we do not expect this department to exceed their budget for the year. And last but not least, the sales tax reports. The first one in the packet is sales tax 7. For the month of May, we've collected $1,115,000. And since this SPLOS began, we have collected a total of $14.25 million. And currently through May, we have spent about half of what we've collected, around $7 million. The next report is the TSPLOT report. Again, we had another good month for our sales tax collections. And for TSPLOT, we collected $1,039,000. Bringing this to a total since inception of $41 million. And to date, we have spent $19.2 million on our TSPLOT projects. And this completes my presentation for May, unless you have any additional questions.
Any other questions for Ms. Samantha? Samantha, all of us are aware of what our obligations are from either SPLOS or T-SPLOS. I say all of us, each commissioner. So the information you had, that's the most current information?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Unless you guys see anything that I have missed along the way, yeah, this is the most current that I'm aware.
The commissioners, take a look at it to make sure that we're staying up on. All right, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you all.
Public Works, Mr. Wells, contract hauling and disposal.
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners.
Hello, sir.
Yes, amendment to the hauling contract, our waste hauling contract with Republic Services was up. They wanted to get it redone. So this one here is for an additional 3 years and can be renewed on a yearly basis after that.
Mr. Wells, Mr. Chairman, did and I haven't had time to read this, but did the amount stay the same? Or was there an increase?
It's the same terms as the last one. Of course, they get into the CPA and all that increases yearly if that increases and all that good stuff.
It goes up
Yeah,
at
yeah, there's usually an increase every year.
by percentage.
And it does have an economic adjuster in the contract.
Okay, okay.
That's the last page, Ms. Mosley.
Yep, I see.
The current's 293,127.
Sir,
Current's $293,127. The prior was $277,928. Am I reading it right?
Very last page.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm apologize. I left
That's
my
all right.
glasses in the truck.
So it's going on the
For some reason, I forget that I can't see anymore.
Other than sunglasses.
Yeah, the sunglasses won't help me though.
You take my word for it,
I
huh?
will take your word for it. Yeah,
That's what it is.
that's the monthly cost.
5.5% change, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
that's the only one we have. I make a motion we approve, Mr. Chairman.
We got a second? Second. Motion second, we approve the hauling and disposal contract for Republic as presented by Mr. Wells to the best of his citing.
I'm gonna remember glasses one day.
Any further discussion? All in favor, show of hands, please. All right, it's approved, sir. Thank you, Mr. Wells.
Thank you. Sir. What you got?
Don't be mean to them now.
Down at the solid, 196, do you have all the employees that you need? Are you just short? Can't get?
Yeah, we're short right now, I think, two. And we've interviewed, well, we hadn't interviewed yet. We're gonna interview next week. We've got some applications, so hopefully we can do something with that. And Johnny was gonna be here this evening, but he's been out of town all week with his wife, actually in Tennessee in the hospital, so he could answer a lot more than questions, but we are down. He does a lot himself, truck driving and to keep everybody caught up and everything, but
Not putting you on the spot, but I know Commissioner Jones, Commissioner Thrift, grass cutting.
Well,
We could use a second crew, right?
yes, we could. I mean, and we are behind right now, I'll be honest with you. I've never had so much trouble keeping tractors going as I have in the last 3 months till, it's been a struggle this year.
But what those tractors about 2 years old?
Them tractors are about 2 years old. I think this is their second go-around. Two of them. The other, one of them's about a year old, two's about 2, and the other two's about 6 or 7 years old. So we shuffling tractors around trying to keep at least 2 running at this point.
We're running, trying to keep the whole county
Yeah.
good.
So
Mr.
what's-
Chairman is not getting it.
What's in your CIP for you? You have some requests for some trucks?
Well, there is, I think, next year, the
Next year.
tractors to be replaced.
Yeah.
25.
Not this budget year, the next one.
Yeah.
How many people make up a crew?
4,
4? So you.
2 tractor drivers and 2 weed eaters.
4 crew, and then plus more tractors, or whatever. Yeah.
If-
For that crew, you'll need another tractor.
Yes, if we had the crew, we'd have to double everything, at another crew. We use the inmate detail to pick up litter.
Yeah. The problems with the tractors unexpected?
Yes, mechanical issues, unexpected, yeah.
Yeah. Or were you just pushing them to the limit?
I hate to say it, but I had very good service out of the last Kubotas we bought.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know.
Something just, okay. Okay. All right.
Not nothing we're doing, it's just,
Yeah. So, but when one's down, then
and as
as the rain, grass grows.
grass grows,
Yeah.
as everybody knows by now, trying to order parts or get something fixed
Yeah.
is,
Yeah. It's a challenge.
yeah.
It's a challenge. Yeah. Well, just make sure that Mr. Brown and staff are aware of what you need.
We are, me and Joey's
Okay.
been talking about it, trying to
Okay.
do something else with it, but
Okay. All right, because
Trying
you
to play
got to
with
have
money,
You gotta have what you gotta have.
Yeah, trying to
Yeah.
play with money.
Listen, but even with that, you're still ahead of DOT, so.
Yeah,
And that's the same thing I was saying, Mr. Chair, about the recreation department.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
All right.
things they need.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, engineering. Let me say this while Trent's coming in. Commissioner, you reminded me of that. You know, you have this gentleman who just left the podium who's willing to push it as much as he can push it to make it work. Only 2 tractors, and one of those go down, you got all of unincorporated Liberty County, the roadways to try to maintain and mow. And it's raining, you know.
My phone rings constantly.
And he's shorthanded, so that is quite a challenge. But I want to appreciate the staff for what they do, trying to keep the county going. And county tractors cost money. Nobody's giving the county free tractors. So when you ask where your tax money is going, it's going on things like that to keep the roadsides mowed so the grass is not hip level. So sometimes we forget those things, as well as having to have competitive salaries to keep, what's that word, to maintain the staff. You know, you want to hire them in, they go out, hire them in, they go out, trying to have competitive salaries so that people stay with the county. So keep all those things in mind when we talk sometimes about what it takes to run county government. Am I on track?
You're on track.
All right. Mr. Long.
Yes, sir. All right, I'll go over quick as I can, try to do a few things. Gave everybody a copy of the pickleball courts we got that are going out there at Liberty Independent Treat Park. So just didn't give you a whole set of plans, just gave you what it's going to look like. Try to make it look good for you. The Limerick Road project, Commissioner Jones, DOT's approved all the signal changes. We're just waiting on the Atlanta to say, take it down, so that we can put our new stuff up. So in a wait mode. And after that, then we can take the barrels away. I was very tempted to just take the barrels away, but, you know, I better not get in trouble. Making good progress on the Islands Highway project. I got some good information on that. We're looking at another alternate layout for a couple of different things up front. We will be heading to some public hearings and some presentations to you here pretty shortly as far as the layout. So you see where everything goes and you can see the resources we have and kind of where we are on that. Hopefully next month I'll bring that to you. That way everybody get a chance to look at it. Public Works improvements, the site work's going well. We have a roadway striping project that's going out. And Commissioner Thrift, I am going to add the road you asked me about into those. So that will be added when it goes out. And I hope to have that out in the paper next week.
Right, okay.
So there's a lot of roads on that. Commissioner Gillard asked me about the Claudia Lane water extension. And he asked a question about a couple of customers trying to hook on, and Mr. Brown took care of him on that today. The Islands Highway box culvert, we're trying to wrap up the contract execution with the contractor on the job. And then that project should be starting shortly. We did have a conversation after our last time we met about this, about scheduling the work, making sure that all the product is here, and, you know, taking the crystal ball, looking out in Atlantic, making sure we're not heading for a hurricane, really, you know, when we get ready to get started. That way we can make that project go as fast as we can. Also, on the roundabout at Barrington Ferry 17, I left everybody an updated copy. I think I sent everybody a copy of it to begin with. This updated copy, only difference is I put a little grayscale in the roadway so it's easier to see and tell what the road is instead of trying to figure out what all the lines meant. Makes it a little bit easier to understand. Let me know if you have any questions. Commissioner Stevens was asking me some questions on it today, I'll be happy to sit down and talk to you about it, and try to answer questions on that as well. We will be going to public hearing, open house on that project as well soon, probably before the end of the year.
Well, okay, just let us know when that,
Oh, yes, sir. No, we'll have to do all kinds of advertising
yeah.
and,
But please give us a tutorial before that time so that we'll be,
most definitely, most definitely,
Yeah.
most definitely.
yeah.
The EMS administration building, is doing good.
Trent, excuse me for stopping you.
Sure.
The 6, was I watching the 5 o'clock news? They talked about the state of Georgia releasing some DOT funds for road and infrastructure projects. And I thought, is Liberty County, and they said you can go look at the website and see, but I didn't.
I haven't gone to look either. I'm gonna go.
Have you
look
heard
and see.
anything?
I know that the new round.
Yeah.
The new round at LMIG came out,
Yeah,
so that's coming up.
Yeah.
And also, the safety monies that we got for a lot of this striping is some of the money that they're putting out. And, you know, I saw something about that and I was gonna go try to look it up too.
Yeah.
I just didn't have time before I got up here today.
well,
But I'm always looking out for them.
look it up and bring us the good news.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I spend enough of it. I'd like to find some of it.
I'm hoping that, do you even know the criteria? I mean, some of
I don't know. I was gonna go look at it and see what
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they have grants for, projects and things that we don't meet the criteria for. But in this case, you know, I'm not sure, so I just gotta go look.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of money, yeah.
Other than that, that's where I am tonight. I have one last thing on the agenda. If you want me to move to it, or if you want me to wrap this up.
Trent, what about, the fire station? What about where the grass is at, the bird pond out there, they can't put any more sod out there? Or
Yes, sir.
what are they going to do with that?
Yes, sir. We, in our original plan, we didn't plan to sod everything. And right now, he's watering it a little bit too aggressively, so we've talked to him about cutting it back a little bit. And we also looked at what it would take us to get, additional sod on that, and so we were trying to work with Mr. Brown to kind of make sure we find the funds to do that, because Mr. Brown actually already asked about trying to sod the rest of the front.
Now, did you say you wanted to cut back on the watering?
Yeah, because the water is a little too much right now.
Too much.
See out there, Trent?
You ride by in the morning, I mean, there's puddles everywhere.
So is all that coming from the sprinkler system, or is that just rainwater that doesn't have a place to run off to?
Most of it is from the sprinkler. So there will be a few bird baths, but now, yeah, especially in the area that's underneath the big oak tree, there's a couple of places where it's a little flat. And if we do get sod, that'll get spread out a little bit and that water will move away a little bit better. But yes, sir, most of it it's just getting inundated with water. Had a couple of plants that drowned that we, brought to his attention. And, so he was cutting it back a little bit already, and, you'll be able to see, if you go in there, you'll find a couple of, dead plants around, and, he's gonna replace those. But he asked if he could replace it, because I think we're having a ribbon cutting or something out there pretty soon. And, I don't know.
I knew working the water, but I
Yeah.
don't think we have the
Yeah,
date yet.
he wanted to hold off until a little bit.
Makes it
so
look-
that way looks nice.
Looks nice. Yeah.
So, but we've got some prices together, and I'm running that through Mr. Brown before I bring it to your attention.
Contingency takes care of it. Or is that his? How does that work? He drowned them, so it's.
Oh, well, if he, the ones that he drowned, yeah, he replaces.
Sure.
Yeah. He's very good about that.
Okay.
He knows when it's his fault, and we've been very open, and he's been very good working with us on that. So, but also the areas that are not sodded are part of the R.W. Allen tract where they're supposed to seed everything. So, we're working on getting that area reseeded if, the sodding is not financially feasible.
Okay.
All right, that was only one.
All right, sir.
Okay, so the next item on the business is,
Here's number two.
well, Mary told me he had 8.
Hey, that's offline between you and him.
So, Miller Park Pavilion, we did receive the bids on this project. Everybody got a copy of the proposal tabulation. We got 4 proposals. The proposal from RL Construction Group was the lowest responsible bidder. One of the bidders did not provide any of the MWBE requirements or anything like that. And there were several things that caused his proposal to be disqualified. RL Construction did meet the MWBE requirements, the part that they submitted. They did seem to have more than 10 and 3% on their contract. We did do the evaluation with the evaluator team, and RL Construction was the selected proposer. And so what we would like to do is recommend to you that the Liberty County Board of Commissioners enter into a contract in the amount of $386,623 with a 10% contingency to construct the pavilion at Miller Park.
RL Construction Company, where they from?
They're out of Savannah. So, and we went and met with them after they submitted the proposals. We actually went out and met at the Gill Park site so that we could bring up any questions that they may have had about anything that was in the proposal, or any questions they had, just to make sure that we weren't heading for any kind of change orders, and make sure that there was a very clear understanding as to what the project was and what we wanted out of the project. That way we were at Gill Park, because it has a lot of the same things for this, and we would be able to say, all right, this is what we want. And then that way there's a visual and there's nothing lost into the interpretation. And after that meeting, we had a really good meeting out there. I feel like we're right on track with everything, with what they proposed and what they put in their proposal, and their prices for their proposal. And actually, this one was less than the one that we had several years ago.
So does this include the septic system?
Yes, sir. It does.
So this is just like the one at Gill Park, you said?
Just like the one at Gill Park.
Okay, okay. Are all of our pavilions basically the same template, or?
Very, very, very close.
Yeah.
A few of them have a few things that are specific, but for the most part, we try to keep it pretty close to the same.
Now, Gill Park has the fence around it.
Yeah, Gill Park has the fence that we like, that we built into it. The
Okay.
others that we used several years ago didn't have a fence.
Right.
And then, when we had trouble with, somebody's renting the pavilion, and then they get there and somebody's kind of squatting in and they wouldn't leave, and that became a problem. So,
Yeah.
The recreation department went and put the chain link fence around everything. It doesn't look quite as good.
Yeah.
And we're finding that the fencing that we used on Gill Park is doing really good.
Yeah. Helps with vandalism too.
Yes, sir, yes.
Yes, right there. Yeah.
We hadn't had quite the problems that they had in Hinesville on some of the pavilions where they used some aluminum grates, and people were stretching them out and going in anyhow.
Yeah.
We hadn't had that one out at Gill Park.
Yeah. Okay.
All
All right.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I make a motion that we accept the bid from RL Construction Group for $386,623 with a 10% contingency and not a dime more.
Is
I
there a
usually do pretty good about that.
second to the motion to approve the bid from?
Second.
All right. So I know Mr. Brown said ARPA
And Splosh.
and SPLOST, okay. ARPA and SPLOST, all right. Any further discussion? All in favor, show of hands. Yay, finally,
Yay, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
finally.
Finally.
Yeah,
It's been a long time.
finally.
Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, one more. What's up? One more. Go ahead.
Run, Trent, run. Okay. Liberty County and GHIC Committee, Mr. Bob Sprinkle is here. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Commissioners? Good evening.
Good to see you.
It's been a long time since I've been up here
Yes,
and
sir.
able to come
Good
before
to see
you.
you.
Excuse me, sir, can you, just let everyone know who you are? Your name, please.
As if they don't know. Commissioner, I'm Bob Sprinkle. Used to be somebody, now I'm nobody. But I am part of the GHIC organization. The Georgia Initiative for Community Housing was appointed back in 2013 by Chairman MacGyver, and fortunately been able to stay on the committee, and it's something that my heart is definitely in because I really do love it. We have, in my mind, it seems like we haven't accomplished a lot, but when I start writing it down, we have accomplished a whole bunch. Not what I would want, but as you'll see as we go through the presentation, we have actually accomplished quite a bit. I'm going to start with 2013 when the county and the municipalities came together and requested to DCA that we be selected as one of the GHIC communities, as a county GHIC. And we were probably, if not the first, we were one of the first county GHICs to be approved to go to the program because they did not like to have counties. They only wanted to have cities. It was easier to work with cities. And I tell you, it is easier to work with one organization instead of 7, like we have to work with. So it made it difficult for us, but we were able to do that. So we went to training starting in 2014, and we graduated in 2017 as a certified GHIC community. While we were there in 2000, I guess I can do this. There we go. In 2013, go there. 2015, while we were still in training, we were allowed to give the city of Midway a tax credit letter that allowed them to move forward and be selected by DCA for a tax credit program called Live Oak Villas in Midway. That was excellent. I was glad that we were able to be part of that. Now, we graduated, and beginning in the fall of 2017, once we graduated, we started immediately working on a community housing survey countywide. All the municipalities, excluding Flemington and Allenhurst, participated in this survey. Now, those 2 cities have not really wanted to participate in the GHIC, but we have tried to include them, and I'm still working trying to get them included in it because I think it would benefit them highly. Through that survey, we were able to find out what the needs were and what the communities were looking to do, and we completed it in the spring of 2018, and since that time, they have been able to use that housing survey to apply and receive CHIP grants and other types of grants to help their communities. One of which was in Riceboro. They were able to get a CHIP grant and build 2 houses that they were able to sell to low to moderate income families. And that was an extremely good project. Now, in 2017, just to back up one, we were able to issue another tax credit program to a Miss Sarah branch for a project called Willowbrook in behind, I think that's in behind Burger King, back over in that area there. Now, GHIC conducted its first community-wide meeting or information seminar on heirs property in 2009 at the community center in Midway. This was very well attended, and we learned a lot in doing that. Then we conducted a second one on June 9th, 2019, in which over 100 people attended that one. Marion, you remember that, very well attended, and a lot of people learned. During that process, we approximately got 8 families taken care of. Now, that don't sound like a lot, considering the number of heirs property we have here, but that's 8 families that got taken care of. And the process is tedious very tedious. There's one family group in Riceboro that's got 300 heirs. And trying to clear up that, they don't have any desire to clear it up. But there's people that have 16, 18, 60 heirs, trying to go back and get those cleared up. Then you have the problem with funding and trying to get the people legal advice. I've been trying to work with the Heirs Property Law Center in Atlanta and Augusta, which is a nonprofit organization, and they refuse to come to Liberty County. I want them to come down here and conduct some of these classes for us, and they won't even do that. They tell me, give me $2,000 and we'll come. They're a nonprofit. So we run into roadblocks everywhere we come to do that. But we are well-trained within our group, and we're going to be conducting one in November of this year. And I think that we can handle it just as well as that law group can and do it just as well as they can. Now, I got to find some attorneys that's willing to come and do some pro bono. They'd have to do pro bono anyway, so I'm hoping to find some. If you got anybody in mind that can help us, please, we need that tremendously.
I think Brandon want to have offline.
Huh?
Brandon want to talk to you about it. I can, yes, yeah.
Okay, great, because we really kind of need that help. Now, did I go too far? No, I didn't. I just got to change, please. Now, during the course of our years, we've added members to our committee, lost members. We started with a bunch that the cities all put together, and that didn't last very long because a lot of them didn't come to meetings, didn't do. But currently, we have 20 members. And I brought a list of those members if anybody's interested who actively participate, and some of them are here. GHIC members that are actually here, if you just raise your hand. Some of them, one that wants to become one that's sitting right over, I see him, yes, I see him. And Mr. Marion up here comes, and we have faithful. Those 20 are faithful members that come to meetings. We had 5 meetings this month, and they have been very well attended. And the people that we have on there are workers. They care and they want to be a part of it. Now, to stay certified, we have to have so many meetings every year. We have to attend training. We have to attend the annual meetings. Most of our members, not all of them, most of our members are part of county or city governments. And they get, if they go away to the trainings, say in Athens or wherever they're having their annual meetings, they get paid for. But then there's people like me or Angela and some of the others, we're not associated, even though I'm with Liberty County, we pay our own way, and that's what we do. That's how much we believe in what we do. Now, it's important that we stay certified because by staying certified, every year comes a period of time that contractors desire to submit proposals to us for tax credit projects. This year we had 2 tax credit projects. And they were what we call the Benson Project and the Searles Foundation Project. One was located off of Casey Drive, and the other was located off of Highway 84 behind rodeos. Exceptional, both of them were exceptional projects. Both of them were worthy of being done, no question about it. One was for 84 units, and the other was for 139 units. Having those come before us, we have to sit down and look through those proposals, utilizing the Department of Community Affairs guidelines that are put out, and evaluate those based on those guidelines. Now, we could add some additional guidelines to those that we're finding out that we didn't really realize that we could do. One of which could be, if we wanted to, we could put in there, you will allow us to name the project. Instead of them naming the project, we could name the project. We could name it after one of our famous people, one of our famous educators, or one of our whatever. We could do that, and that would get them an additional leg up on somebody else. We have the ability to do that type of thing. We could add additional construction criteria if we so desired. If the construction is not to our desire, and we think it needs to be a little bit better, we could add that. Not saying we would. Or, in a better sense, is that you're coming into our community, what are you going to do for our community? What amenities are you going to give to our community? Are you going to put in a park? Are you going to put in extra sidewalks for us? What are you going to do? We can do that. Going into our next round, which will start after the first of the year, we are going to be asking for those type of things, the things like, what are you going to do for our community? So we're going to be asking these contractors that want to come into our community to see what they will give back to us in our community. So we're going to be looking at that type of thing. So in this process last year, the Searles project, foundation project behind rodeos, won out this year. They provided additional amenities to the community based in their proposal. That's what got them the leg up. Just in the short of it, there were some other things too. And they received 2 points on their application to go forward to DCA. We won't know whether they actually got the award for the project, the 139 apartments, until November. We're hoping that they do. So, next. This is a very important part of what I want to talk about today. We have started talking with a developer. This developer has no inside information to do anything with us. He is just helping us along. Mr. Chairman, you've been on the phone with him, with me and Mr. Brown. We talked with him about some projects that we would like to see it happen in Liberty County, one of which could be in Midway, one of which could be in Riceboro. These projects would be workforce housing, because we need workforce housing for our people that are working in Liberty County. Not these $400,000 homes that are being built that our people can't afford, that are working in our factories and in our businesses around Liberty County. We can't do that. So, to get started, one of the first things that we've got to do is do another community survey. The University of Georgia has a new program and tablets that would help us tremendously conduct a survey. But one of the biggest things that we need to do is to work with the development authority and their businesses and their factories and their companies to find out what the workforce really needs. What do we need? We cannot move forward on a workforce project, workforce housing project, till we really know what the needs are in our county and in the area down there in Midway and Riceboro. If we know that, then we can move forward. So if we work with the development authority and the businesses that are there, SNF and the other businesses that are down there, we can do exactly. Do I need to build a workforce housing project of 50 homes? Does it need to be 100 homes? Or does it need to be 200 homes? We don't know, because I want to make sure that we do the right thing. That's very important as far as we are concerned. Now, desires. The desires for these housing projects is a dream. I hate to say it, but it's probably a dream of mine. I'd like to see these homes built with what's called ICF construction. ICF construction is not new, but it would be new to Liberty County and the coastal Georgia, because there's not any homes built. I think there's one home built in Effingham County, and I believe Diamond Elementary School was built using ICF construction. ICF construction is nothing but modular blocks that have foam on one side, foam on the other side, rebarb in the middle. They hook together like Legos, I guess. I'm not sure. They're blocks cooked together, and you pour concrete in between the blocks. And when all this is built, it's the walls of the building, and it withstands winds of 250 miles per hour. These are commonly called century homes. Hurricanes won't knock them down. Tornadoes, you get an F5. Yeah, you might, but you can secure those. They have an R rating of about 250 mile an hour winds. I mean, about R50. They're very strong winds. So what we're looking for is trying to do something that nobody else is doing. And this is catching the interest of DCA. As I said, these homes will have an insulated value of R50 or higher. This reduces the energy costs. They'll be highly insulated. This will reduce the energy bills because you'll reduce the size of the heat pumps that you'll put inside these. You've got to ensure that you have the right air exchange, so it has to be done correctly because they will sweat. There's no question in my mind because they're not loosely put together. They're very tight. Now, there's another plan that I like to see happen. I'd like to put solar panels on the roof. I'd like to reduce workforce housing's energy costs. I would really like to put a solar field in so it takes care of everything, so I only have to do it one time, there's running lines. But I don't know if that's entirely possible. I don't know if I get the land to do that. That's another issue that we have to cross. I'd also like to put these homes on larger than normal lots. I'd like to see us build these houses on lots that are big enough to have a home garden so that we can teach them the people how to raise their own vegetables so they can reduce their food costs. Teach them what they need to do. Contract or go to the University of Georgia extension agents and say, we need your help, let's do this. So let's do something a little bit more innovative that other people are not doing. This is not something that people are thinking about. Let's, Liberty County, think about our people and start trying to do something to reduce their costs for their homes, reduce their energy costs, and reduce their food costs at the same time that we're putting them in good, safe, solid homes that are safe. Now, this is a big one here. Seeing the cost of your pavilion, I'm not sure I can do this, but what I'd like to see us do is build a recreation area for the homeowners. But I'd also like to do this in conjunction with Liberty County and the Recreation Department, because I'd like to build something within each one of these developments where it would be able to be done, constructed, where we would provide a safe, a good place for families to gather, and at the end of our construction, we'd be able to turn it over to the county for maintenance, the same as you do and accept roads and subdivisions, so that we could have a place not only for our residents, but for the county to utilize, and you could have 2 extra parks if we did 2 developments. Now, I'm not saying we do 2. There is a potential plan out there that the county itself could do one on its own. Instead of going to Midway and to Riceboro, the county could go and find some land and do it themselves if they wanted to. You could do a project all by yourself. But this is all a dream, but DCA has taken note of this plan. Our developer has taken it to the commissioner at DCA, showed them what we are talking about, what Liberty County is talking about, what our dream is, what we'd like to see done, and they love it. Here's the biggest problem that DCA has. They have no way of channeling any funding to a county or municipality to purchase land, because they have no way to ensure that it is being utilized properly and without fraud or anything being taken in care of it. But they see a possibility of what we're trying to accomplish by doing what we're doing, and that is they write the new policy where they could give us the money, Liberty County could own the land that the house sits on. The person that purchased a house would not own the land that sits underneath the house, but Liberty County or the municipality would own the land. This land would be put into a 10, 20, 30-year holding underneath the house. The person that bought the house would own the building. They'd loan the building. If the person decided after 3 or 4 years they wanted to sell the house, they couldn't sell the land, only the building itself. And it would be restrictions upon that and who could buy it. we would put restrictions upon that so that we could maintain that this house is a workforce house, could not be sold to a developer or somebody coming in like a big corporation trying to buy up houses to rent out to everybody in the world. We would have covenants put in place to prevent that. But we would also have covenants put in that at the end of a determined period of time, which the municipality or the county would put in place, be it 10, 20, 30 years, whatever is decided upon, that land would automatically move to the owner of the house if they maintain ownership of that house to the end period, whatever it should be. That would prevent somebody from coming in the beginning, buying up all these cheap houses or whatever you want to call it, that the people that deserve to have these workforce houses would keep them to the end. So that would be a means. Now, I'm not a smart person. I can come up with all these kinds of ideas. I had to have smarter people that tell me how this is done, but it can be done. That's what DCA is trying to write these policies so that we may be able to accomplish this. So that's something new to do. And what this will do for us, if we're able to accomplish this, we're able to purchase land, that would reduce the home's costs immediately between $40,000 and $50,000 in their construction costs because they would not be purchasing the land that sits underneath of it. So it would make it cheaper for them. Okay?
I just have like one question. So I'm following. So I saw in the past, you all were saying that there were some tax credits given to, I guess, a private.
Yes, yes.
But what you're talking about here.
It's so totally different.
Right. So the funding.
The funding will come from bonds. It could come from private enterprise. And it could come from, well, there's a project similar to this, but not because of the land, us purchasing land. There's a project right now in Glenn County. They are building, Mr. Chairman, I showed you that piece of paper. I forgot the number. It was 400, 500 houses.
A lot.
A lot of houses. And they did it strictly through bonding and through private funding.
Okay.
And they were, when they sold the homes, that was paying back the loans, and they were paying it back over, I think, 10 or 15 years. Mm-hmm. And it was done through, I don't have it, I didn't bring that piece of paper with me, I'm sorry.
That's fine. I was.
But
just-
it was done through that type of funding. And the developer, and if I'd had more time to get him, if he had time to get down here, he could answer that question real quick. Because we even talked about that, the funding side of it.
You can just give me a call offline.
Yeah, I'll have to. Yeah, it's not something I have in front of me or anything.
Right.
But it is something that we can look at doing and something that we want to do. It's definitely something that would be great for us.
Okay.
There is no other county or municipality doing anything like this. It's just something that we need to work on. It's groundbreaking. We're the only county in Georgia that has a forward-thinking focus that DCA is looking at doing. If they do this new policy, it'll allow the counties and municipalities means to receive funding for this, and it will prevent large groups, other people coming in and taking properties and raising prices. And that's what we want to stop doing. We want to stop that from happening. Now,
Move a little bit faster for me.
huh?
Move a little bit faster for me.
I'm trying to. Because I got one part I got to go slower, but I'll try to move faster. CHODO, we have created CHODO, which is a community housing development organization. This is the funding arm, the management arm, and the development arm for GHIC. And it is in conjunction with the Liberty County Housing Authority. Now, last thing, next thing I'm going to do. This is what I need for you to look at doing. And Mr. Mosley can help me with this. And it's something that we need you as Board of Commissioners to consider doing and helping us get established. That is a land bank. It is a big thing. It's the last piece of our puzzle that we need to put together to make us successful. Land bank is a public or nonprofit, land bank are public or nonprofit public entities created by local governments to acquire, manage, and maintain, facilitate, and redevelop properties. Underutilized, vacant, blighted, or tax delinquent properties. We can receive things at no cost. We're a nonprofit organization. It would be a nonprofit organization. It's tools for converting vacant, abandoned, or distressed properties in productive use. You know, our goal is to put things that are no longer bringing taxes back to your county, to put it back into use. That's the primary reason. It does not have eminent domain or taxing authority. Now, the land bank focuses on residential, commercial, industrial, and green space. We can take county government surplus properties. If you have properties you can't use and you don't want to go through the selling and you're not getting what you want to, i.e., your old Labor Department building, I don't know if you've already got rid of it or not.
We still have it.
We could take that. Matter of fact, I would love to have that and develop that into a commercial on the bottom and apartments on top. I can receive grant monies at no interest, or grant monies. I can receive and get low interest loans from DCA to do this project, and I can start doing it tomorrow. What's the other good thing is that GHIC has a senior GHIC program that I got to make application for in September to apply to be a part of GHIC, be the senior. They only choose 2 counties or cities or municipalities in the state of Georgia every year to be a part of it if you have a project that you can present to do that year, and it comes with funding. It comes with funding to help you accomplish that project. They never told us how much funding it comes, but if it comes with $1, it's better than what we've got now to do a project. So I would love to have that building as part of a project so I can submit this as a senior project to go and say, here's what we'd like to do, and have it. If we had the land bank set up already, you could give that property to us, and we could move forward tomorrow with it, and move forward and try to do something with it in conjunction with the Board of Commissioners, because we would not want to do anything that you wouldn't want done with it, but we would have the funding and the means to do it through our CHOTO, through our contacts at DCA, and a lot of that. We could do that. So you see the other stuff there: foreclosed properties, abandoned properties, tax delinquents. Now, to create this, you have to have a county and 1 municipality in the county join in. I'd like to see all 7, all the municipalities, but it only takes 1 county and 1 municipality to do it. You have to pass an ordinance, and you have to appoint board members, adopt bylaws and policies. You have to do a resolution, outload board policies, and I can go through all that, but here, Mr. Chairman, this is a copy of Statesboro's policies and ordinance there, and there's a copy of how to do everything right there. Mr. Mosley is very familiar with Statesboro's, as I believe that he was part of what they were doing. He is very familiar with land banking, and he could help drive this through much better.
Okay.
5 to 7 board members. All public officials are eligible to be a member of the land bank. Members serve without compensation. You can read all of that. Main thing I want you to know is who can serve. You can see the list there: tax commissioner, code enforcement officers, zoning officials, elected officials, and private citizens, and there you can see their backgrounds. Now, nothing is free. It takes funding to do this. Once a land bank is up and running, they start acquiring property, they start generating their own funds, because they'd be putting property back on on the books. When they sell property, they get funding, and they start becoming more self-reliant. However, they got to get started. So you can see there the funding considerations when you get started. A lot of us in kind as we get started. All right, putting the pieces of the puzzle together. You're right at the end. Last slide before questions. Our journey has been long to this point, and we needed to put the pieces together. First, we need the right people at the right time at the right organization. We first started out as an organization that only provided information. That's all we did. That's all we could do. But now we have got the right people together and the right stuff. We must establish this land bank to complete our puzzle. It's very important to us. We now have experience on our committee to take a huge step towards the projects that will help us and so many people in Liberty County. All the parts of the puzzle is almost complete together to develop, fund, construct, and manage large housing projects. It is now for us to boldly go where we need to go. Long before now, we need to make Liberty proud. And your questions?
So the establishment of the land bank
Yes, sir.
made it sound fairly easy.
It's tedious. It is actually very easy because that manual I handed you walks you through the process. I am sure Mr. Kelly Davis would find it an easy thing to do if you could get him to do it. I didn't say that. I swear. I strike that from the thing. I swear. Too many years here. But I will tell you, it is not hard to do. There are many counties out there. I just chose Statesboro. I had many examples to go by from other counties and cities.
Statesboro has an active land bank?
Yes, they very much. You have an active, is that correct, Ms. Moses?
It works on an as-needed basis.
As needed, yes.
I know Albany, Dougherty County has one.
Yes, they have. Valdosta has a very good one also. Macon-Bibb is a premier. So there are some very, very good ones out there. And the man that is in charge of the Land Bank Association would be more than happy to come down here, I hear. I have not personally spoke to him, but several of the people at the GHIC conference I went to said that he would be happy to come down here. All you have to do is ask him. He's so happy to get another one established.
So has someone like that person presented to the GIC committee?
Yes, up in Athens, yes.
Okay.
We have. I've got more research on land banks than you shake stick at. I got every ordinance, every presentation, you name it, I got it. I went to the legislation, I've got everything printed out on legislation, everything on that. So I've read everything.
So then what would be the next step if Liberty County were to pursue this? What would be the next?
I believe the next step would be for us to, actually, I think it would be prudent to, if nothing more than to talk with the city of Hinesville and see if they're interested. If not, then we would need to go to another, because that would be the fastest way for it to happen.
Okay.
If nothing more, to have a conversation with them. Then the second thing is to get Mr. Kelly to, Mr. Davis to draft up an ordinance, an intergovernmental agreement with the city, with a city.
And this, from what you guys say, that template should be out there somewhere then.
In that book that you have there, it was done in 2022, that's the newest one out. It's got a template in there as well. It's got several different types of templates. It's however you want to do it in that book.
Okay.
And I'm free and able to do whatever typing you need me to do. I'm just sitting at a desk.
All right, well, let's explore. Let's explore.
Chair, I just have another question for Mr. Sprinkle. Whenever you were discussing about, I guess what, the GIC committee purchasing the property or the county?
Well, we would like for the county to, somebody in a hierarchy such as a county or a city needs to own the property. Now, if the GIC had all the money, if we had funds sitting in the bank, then we would purchase it. And it would be good for us to do. The problem we have, just like with the Searles project down here,
Right.
They will build that project, they will own that project, and at the end of 30 years, they could come in and tell all the residents that live in that rent-controlled area, and where they keep the prices at a certain AMI, be it 50% or 60%, whatever the AMI is, the rent control is, and say, now, you're going to market price at the end of 30 years. If you own the property underneath of it, they can't do that.
Right, but I guess my question was about, how would a property tax be collected off of that?
I can't answer that one now. That's something that's new to me.
If the individual purchased the house,
The house could be, I would believe, if
but then but the land is still,
it belongs to the county.
right? which
The
can't be
house
taxed.
does not, so the house could be assessed.
Yeah, you can do just the house and not the,
You can do just the house,
you can do that.
That'd just be assessed.
yes. You would just lose the value of the house, I mean, property it sets on top of.
Right, in these particular projects that you're talking about that are rent control, yeah. I'll talk to you about that offline.
That'd be fine, sir.
Yeah, because, I mean, I think that's like an older model. I know more newer models are more like a mixed use.
They can be.
Yeah.
I-
'Cause
I-
I know when I was living in Atlanta in college, I stayed in particular areas where it was rent control, but then it went off your income.
Yeah, I'm more interested in building owner-owned homes than I am into the rent control.
Right, I agree. I was just going back on that project, like 100, you said
Right.
100 and something units.
Yeah.
Because, and you know the reason why they do that, they want to have a more eclectic, more mixed.
Exactly.
Type of community.
What we're trying to do is, again, build workforce housing that fits the needs of our workers that are working in Liberty County, instead of them having to try to find a trailer that they can afford, a rental piece of property that's substandard. We're trying to get them into a real home as a real owner and move them up in the economic status that they need to be moving up in.
Absolutely. I
That's
agree
what we
with
wanna try to do.
110%. I was just talking about those two.
Yes.
Projects.
And
with-
it's no
with the tax
reason why,
credits.
as we move forward in this, that part of this potentially could be some townhouses that could be built as part of this as rentals and market value and some rent controlled as well. We've
Right.
actually had that conversation,
Like I
but that
said,
was
I-
part of this.
Right, I just know in the city of Atlanta, like the so-called projects,
Right.
they eliminated those. They just knocked them all down.
Yeah.
And, you know, actually, I stayed in a few of them that.
I'm in favor of building, if I was to ever build townhomes, it would be rent control for some and full market value for others, and nobody would know who anybody is.
And that's the point.
That's the key.
Whenever you build
Yeah.
communities like that, you know, everyone has a chance to, it's more conducive to a community.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't disagree. I just want to make sure that I'll get the people in there that needs to be in there, and keep the people that needs to be in there, instead of letting investors come in there and take things away from people, and then charging an arm and a leg, and the people that deserve to be there can't be there.
Understood.
Don't want that to happen.
So appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
y'all
you
very
and your,
much,
thank you and your
Commissioners.
committee. We continue to learn. Just keep us on, don't let us lose our momentum, you know. Especially as it relates to the land bank part, Mr. Mosley. I'm not sure if anybody have you even casually mentioned to any other municipality, the land bank?
No, I had to bring it to you guys
Okay,
first.
okay, all right.
I want somebody else to do it, I'll bring it to you guys.
We have to arrange it,
Only imagine what
with
that would be.
with set up a meeting then between us and the city of Hinesville, or, yeah,
I don't think I'd take it from me very well.
yeah. All right. Intergovernmental Agreement 2024 TSPLOT. Thank you, Mr. Sprinkle, again. Good to see you.
You even dressed like Joey today. Tag your hands.
Mr. Chairman and Board of Commissioners, we have before us an intergovernmental agreement for our 2024 TSPLOT. Mr. Brown was looking at the legislation and came to understand that the state legislatures reduced the number of times you can have special elections. So what this did is started us to go through the process a lot earlier to save monies on trying to have a special election. And in doing so, we could have this as part of the general election that's scheduled in November. Just like the TSPLOT or the SPLOSH, the county takes the lead in terms of notifying the communities, coming together, and we did. The chairman and all 7 of the municipalities met and negotiated in terms of how the monies would be divvied up. There was an estimate of $76 million, and this agreement here is laid out in terms of how everything will flow. All 7 of the municipalities have signed off on it, and we are the latest entity or government entity to approve it.
So they saved the best for last?
Yes, sir. It runs for 6 years. It would lapse on, if what wasn't renewed, it would lapse on September of next year. What this will allow it to do is go for another 6 years of continual collection. And I believe that the board, y'all would, amongst yourselves, in terms of the monies that come for y'all portion, would decide how it would be spent, so. At this time, Mr. Chair, answer any questions that anyone might have.
Any questions from Mr. Mosley before we take action? I think we should be well versed on it. I think some of you have some special interest items that you can discuss with Mr. Brown, so we'll work through those. But tonight we need to take action as it's time sensitive, and all the other municipalities have already given their approval. So this time for Liberty County to take action.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve the intergovernmental agreement for the 2024 TSPLOT.
Is that motion and second? We approve the intergovernmental agreement for 2024, please. TSPLOT. Me too. Getting tongue tied. Any further discussion? All in favor, show of hands, please. All right, it's done, sir. Thank you, commissioners.
And Mr. Chair, the companion piece that goes with it, which is the call for the election, is the resolution that the board has before it. This resolution would go on the general primary, the schedule for November, on November the 5th. And also there's provision in this resolution that allows for the city of Hinesville as well as Liberty County to take a certain amount. And I believe for the county it was $33 million, and for the city of Hinesville, $31 million for bonding. What that would do is allow us to have quicker access to cash to do some special projects. So that's what would be on the referendum. A, would you approve this TSPLOT, and B, would you allow the city and the city of Hinesville and Liberty County to do bond referendum?
To fund something with bonds with anticipation of the sales tax funds coming into.
Yes, sir.
To further debt. What do you call that?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
the intergovernmental agreement, we're looking from 2024 to, what is that, a 7-year,
6 years, from 2025 to 2011.
Okay.
I mean, 2031.
Both of them will be.
I'm sorry,
It's,
2031.
Concurrent.
So soon as it ends, the other one will start. That's part of the language.
But is it a 6-year?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, the resolution. What else?
Motion that we approve the resolution.
Is there a second?
Let's,
Second.
The motion second approve the resolution is read. That's Mr. Moses said companion to the government agreement. Any further discussion? All in favor, show of hands, please. All right. Thank you, commissioners.
Mr. Chair, can we in the future look at design for the TSPLOT signs for those projects?
Yeah. In fact, we need to look at the SPLOT signs too. I'm reminded that we're working on the marketing part through the chamber.
Yes, sir.
Leah's leading that effort, so we'll hear back from her hopefully sometime soon. But I know she and Joy have been in discussion, but you know the law still forbids us as a governmental body from marketing. But the Chamber of Commerce, as it did before, is going to lead the way with the marketing. So we'll get some feedback from, and there's, if you know of some prospective sponsors or donors who would like to give to that effort, please share information with Mr. Brown or Mr. Mosley or Ms. Leopold, so we can have those funds available, because there'll be some mail-outs and flyers and brochures, all those kind of things that people do for campaigns. All right. All right. Board appointments.
Ready, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the committee met and we reviewed the applications. We're ready to make our recommendations. For the for the Cultural Historical Resources Committee, we received one applicant, and by majority decision, we go with Miss Lisa Lorimore.
What's the last name again, sir?
Lorimore, Lowrimore, Lisa Lorimore.
Okay. All right. She's the only applicant. Then Chair entertain a motion to appoint.
Motion that we approve that, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Is there a second? Second. Motion second. We have Ms. Lisa Lorimore appointed to the Cultural and Historic Resources Committee. Any further discussion? All in favor, show of hands, please. Ms. Lorimore is appointed. All right.
Okay, and Mr. Chairman, let me put my note up here. On the Tax Assessors Board, we received several applicants. One was from Mr. Lloyd Bird, who's currently on the board, and he gave us a letter, and he wanted to be reappointed. And again, by majority vote, the committee want to recommend Mr. Lloyd Bird.
I think most of us know Mr. Bird has been very engaging.
Motion that we reappoint Mr. Lloyd Bird.
Motion second, we reappoint Mr. Lloyd Bird. He's been there. He's been there. Any further discussion? All in favor, show of hands, please. All right. We're happy to reappoint Mr. Lloyd Bird to the Tax Assessors Board.
All right, thanks.
Thank
And we had a few more applications, but again, after reviewing the applications by majority vote, we're going to recommend for the board's consideration Kevin Rimlord.
To
But the other
Other opening, I think that would be the one that,
so you had two positions?
yeah.
somebody did not decide. Yeah. Mr.
Oh, that's right, that's right.
Motion that we,
He's stepping
approve
down.
that.
All right.
What was your name now?
Kevin Rimmelord, he was with, when I first met him, he was with HPD.
Yeah, and then he went to HDDA after that. He was still with the city.
Yeah. All right. So for that second position, the motion and the second has been to appoint Mr. Kevin Rimmelord to the Tax Assessors Board. Any further discussion? All in favor, show of hands, please. Yeah. Opposition? One? Okay. One opposed? All right. You guys got it?
That's it, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
If y'all need any guidance when y'all get ready, let us know. It's quick and easy.
Yeah. All right. Any other reports, Mr. Ms. Mosley?
Mr. Chair, Mr. Brown did want to note, it was stated earlier about the landscaping at the fire department, but he said that he would like to get with you guys in terms of setting the date for ribbon cutting.
Ribbon cutting, okay, okay. And once again, Ms. Maria's reaching out to set the appointment with Ms. Bryn Grant, so she emailed us, okay, all right.
I think we're looking at August one time.
I know it sometime in, yeah, okay. That's all for the good order. Chair, entertain a motion?
So moved.
Second? We stand adjourned. Thank you.